There's a very specific kind of gardener denial that happens every single August, and if you've gardened for more than one summer, I promise you've fallen into it at least once. The flowers are still blooming, the days are still hot, and some tiny voice in your head says, "It's still summer, I've got time." Meanwhile, underground, your plants have already started making a decision without asking you. They've begun shutting down flower production and rerouting all their energy into roots. Shorter daylight hours are quietly telling them winter is coming, whether the thermometer agrees or not. That gap is exactly where most perennial gardens quietly go wrong. Here's why this month matters more than almost any other stretch on the calendar. Whatever you do in the next few weeks determines how your garden looks next spring. Skip these tasks, and you're not just risking a slightly messier August. You're setting next year's garden up to come back weaker, thinner, and more vulnerable to pests. Do these 8 things instead, and you get a garden that keeps blooming through fall and roars back next spring, stronger than it went into winter. Not everything I'm about to tell you is a "do this now" instruction. A couple of these are just as much about what to stop doing right now. This checklist applies broadly across USDA zones 4 through 9, covering most of the United States, parts of the UK, and southern Canada. Task 1 is deadheading. Every flower on your plant is trying to become a seed. Once a bloom fades, the plant diverts energy into that seed. When you deadhead, snip off that spent flower. You interrupt that signal, and the plant redirects energy into producing another round of blooms instead. Task 2 is the one that surprises almost everyone. Stop fertilizing. Fertilizer pushes plants to produce fresh, tender new growth that won't survive the first frost. Cutting off fertilizer now signals to your plants that it's time to shift focus toward root development and energy storage for winter survival. Task 3 is weeding. A single mature weed left standing in August can drop thousands of seeds directly into your soil for next year. Get out there now, pull weeds while they're manageable, and make sure you're removing the entire root system, especially for perennial weeds. Task 4 is dividing. Late summer is the ideal window for dividing perennials like irises and daylilies that have already finished blooming. Do not divide anything that blooms in late summer or fall, like asters or mums. Interrupting them now would sabotage your fall display. When you do divide, replant right away, water them in immediately, and trim back the foliage by about 1/3 to reduce water stress. Task 5 is checking for disease, specifically powdery mildew. It shows up as a dusty, grayish-white coating across leaves and stems. Task 6 is watering. Stick with deep, less frequent watering rather than quick daily sprinkles, which encourages roots to grow downward for moisture. Task 7 is staking. By August, many perennials have grown taller and heavier, and a sudden storm can snap stems or flop plants over. Task 8 is making notes. Walk through your garden and pay attention. Which plants thrived? Where are the gaps in your borders? Resist the urge to clean everything down to bare stubble. Many perennials have seed heads that feed birds straight through fall and winter. If you follow these 8 tasks, your blooms will last longer, your plants will have energy reserves, and you'll have fewer weeds next spring. Drop your questions in the comments and subscribe for more fall prep. That's the difference between a garden that survives and one that thrives.